Thank you very much. Hi everyone. We've come here from Usercentrics Cookie Bar, all the way from Lisbon. I think we can skip to the next slide. So just to give you a bit of context about myself, my name's Alex. I work as a product manager at Usercentrics for just over a year. I started out in the API and developer experience team, so in developing our Usercentrics public API. And then I slowly moved into the integrations team, which focuses on integrations with content management systems. So our integrations, for example, with WordPress, so our WordPress plugin in this case.
Good morning, colleagues. My name is Eric. I'm founding member of Usercentrics API and developer experience team. I'm originally from Russia, been living in Portugal for the last 3 years. That's it.
Yep. So, as I said, I work as a product manager in the integrations team. There's a big focus on our WordPress plugin. And it's a very interesting way that we work at Usercentrics. So we work in squads in terms of our product team. So we have product manager, we have an engineering manager, marketing manager, and a designer. Usually businesses work in the same way, but they don't always call it squads. I'm sure I've heard many agencies and freelancers who sometimes it's one person who's doing everything. But the important thing is that all these skills are equally represented inside the company. But sometimes when you're building products, marketing can be something that's pushed to the side. So you can always build a core product and sometimes forget about the adoption part. However, for us at Usercentrics, we know how important it is. And throughout my career, I've learned how important it is to have a very, very close relationship with your marketing team. Treat them as best friends, pretty much, because if your product isn't used and adopted by anyone, then you're also not learning enough about the product, not optimizing it enough for it to meet your end users. And this is really the way to kind of unlock growth and achieve a return on investment on the different marketing actions you need to do. So the main part of this is you can't really build something and expect it to achieve results if it's not being adopted by the audience it needs to be adopted by. And marketing in the middle of all of this is your best friend. So we had a complete nightmare trying to figure out attribution with our plugin. So as we know, with WordPress being open source and having no native attribution support inside WordPress, we had a lot of difficulty in trying to figure out a solution which would help us basically launch campaigns. So realistically, you can always launch a campaign for a plugin, and you might see the number of installs go up. But most of the times when you're working in marketing, you have to try various different campaigns to understand, okay, what is it that's actually driving adoption for your product? And as we didn't want to just kind of spend money with a blindfold on, we wanted to make sure that we had an optimal tracking solution in place, which would then allow us to optimize campaigns, figure out where it makes sense to spend more money, and achieve the most optimal return on investment. Also, there's the other part of this. So sometimes users are unpredictable, like they could look at your campaign one day, and then 3 days later, they decide to sign up for your product. And this makes it super difficult to be able to track the journey from start to finish. So I'll give you an example. A user can click on a Google ad one day. They can end up on your landing page or on your sign up page, which would then take them to the plugin somehow. Then they go on to WordPress to download the plugin, so we've already lost them. They sign up, and then eventually they maybe convert down the line into a paid customer as well. So for the customer, everything seems normal, but from our side, everything is pretty much invisible. And all the channels end up looking disconnected in the end, and this makes it very, very difficult to be able to kind of launch campaigns, optimize campaigns, and really learn about which campaigns work best with our users. So just what I was saying, so we couldn't track performance end to end, which is a huge problem. And we decided not to do campaigns at that point because it would just be spending money blindly. We couldn't see which users actually ended up creating an account. We just know that there was an account creation, And if we did decide to launch campaigns at that point, we just know that there were people viewing our ads and interacting with our ads. So as a result, we couldn't really optimize or scale our WordPress plugins. So what we ended up having to do is figure out a solution that would allow us to do this. And I'll now pass on to Eric, which will talk to you about how exactly we ended up approaching this situation to create a solution that was secure and actually worked for us and for our marketing team.
Thanks a lot, Alex. So, yep, this isn't just a minor issue. This is a fundamental disconnect between the incredible plugin we built and our incredible users, and between us knowing how our users are using this plugin and how do they convert. So when you cannot connect your plugin installs to the campaigns, you cannot calculate, as Alex said, ROI, you cannot justify your ad spend, and this is a huge problem, especially when you're facing huge enterprise issues. So our user's journey begins in any search engine. They just type in cookiebot WordPress or CMP plugin WordPress, and they click on our advertisement. This is the first intent that gets passed to our system. So now we understand that we need to start this tracking. User ends up on our landing page for the campaign. And obviously, as a privacy-oriented company, we ask for consent to save and process marketing data. If our user gives us this consent, then we can proceed with the next steps. So when user agrees, gives marketing consent, our initial link on download button gets changed with a special attribution link, which is being hosted on our internal platform. And the interesting thing here is that we pass the encoded parameter to our backend infrastructure, which contains all users' attribution data. So as you can see, it's UTM source, it's UTM medium, and the other limitation is discontinuation of third-party cookies in browsers. So that's why we needed something more complex, and we managed to use only first-party data here, which we achieve by sending user to our attribution link, defining callback URL for this link, and after this callback succeeds, user gets redirected to WordPress plugin directory. And for user, it's completely seamless. It happens in milliseconds. But for us, this is a very important step because you'll see in a few moments. So user installed the plugin, and usually this is the moment where we do not know anything. Even the previous point was the moment where the trail stopped. We do not know anything what happens after WordPress redirect. But when our user clicks Get Started button, the user accesses the same domain where we saved the cookie earlier. So this cookie gets read, and because it's a first-party cookie, browser transfers it to our API, which then decodes it and sends out further down the line. And now we have all information. Now user can create their own account, and this request is made successfully to our internal server-side tagging platform. We use internal server-side tagging because it gives us more control over the data, gives us more granularity. So with our server-side tagging platform, this gets into the custom template on our Google Tag Manager, which runs, as I said, on server-side as well. And it triggers one of our workspace triggers. which is WordPress plugin installed, and it also artificially populates this page location and all the parameters down this tracking pipe. So the next step is when we record the particular event. So as you can see, we have some different filters just in order to be sure that the campaigns that get into our GTM configuration are the correct ones. And the most interesting thing now is that this allows us to pass this information into Google Ads platform. And now we can be 100% confident that our conversion has been calculated correctly. And now we have full access to the information regarding the full lead scope. For user, again, this is seamless, but for us, this is very important because now we have correct ROI, we have justified ad expenses, and what is even more important for us is that we can optimize our plugin so that our users like it more, and we have the best product on market. Thanks a lot.